You know, every empire claims that its money is in safe hands. Every government says, we're here and we'll always be here. But history shows us, time and time again, that these promises are nothing but lies. In Rome, France, America, Lebanon, people woke up one morning to find that everything they had was gone. Their money was suddenly worthless. So collapse isn't really an exception, it's the rule. And the real question is this: when that moment comes, what will you do? We usually put our faith in the power of money, our bank accounts, and the promises our governments make. But we forget one simple truth: money means trust. And once that trust is gone, money loses all meaning. Throughout history, stories like these have repeated themselves. Take Byzantium, for example. It had the famous gold coin, the solidus. For centuries, it was used in trade all across the world. Merchants trusted it completely. Confidence was sky high, but it didn't last forever. The emperors couldn't resist. They began lowering the purity of the gold. At first, nobody noticed. Then whispers started spreading, and eventually trust collapsed. That once stable economy crumbled overnight. And who survived, do you know? Those who held real assets, gold, land, tangible goods, not paper promises. The rest? They were left with nothing but the empty words of their rulers. Then came darker days. The Black Death swept across Europe. Half the population perished. But here's the strange part. When so many people died, the value of the survivors' labor skyrocketed. Land, houses, food, everything was abundant, except people. Those with a little cash or any kind of working skill suddenly had an advantage. They bought land for almost nothing and started new lives. When you think about it, we've seen the same story in our own time. COVID. Wasn't it just the same? Story with a different name. Those with resources bought stocks, land, houses, businesses. The rest struggled to make ends meet. Once again, history proved itself right. Crisis rewards the prepared. The same theme played out in Renaissance Florence. The city's biggest banks, Bardi and Peruzzi, were more powerful than kings. But they learned how fragile that power was when the King of England refused to pay his debts. Those too-big-to-fail banks collapsed almost overnight, and the depositors, they lost everything. People realized then, size doesn't mean safety. Institutions make profits for themselves, not for you. Today we say Lehman Brothers, Silicon Valley Bank. But really it's the same story all over again. During the American Civil War, history repeated itself once more. Both the North and the South printed money like crazy. Greenbacks in the North, greybacks in the South. As the war dragged on, their value evaporated. And who survived? Can you guess? Those who held on to their gold, their land, their food. Not the ones holding paper, but those who held real value. In revolutionary France it happened again. When the monarchy fell, they issued a new currency called the assignat. At first it worked, but soon chaos followed. Everyone kept printing more and more. The paper became worthless. Eventually farmers refused to trade. "I won't take that paper," they said. "Bring me silver." Then came famine, riots, chaos. In short, the value of government money exists only as long as people believe in it. Once that belief dies, so does the currency. In the 1997 Asian crisis, from Thailand to Indonesia, nations fell into the same trap. They had all borrowed heavily in US dollars. When their currencies collapsed overnight, their debts exploded. People lost jobs, savings, and livelihoods, but those who held dollars or kept their wealth abroad, they stayed afloat. The lesson? Borrowing in someone else's currency is disaster in a crisis. Lebanon is the perfect modern example. In 2019, banks shut their doors. People woke up one morning unable to access their own accounts. The currency crashed and life became unbearable. Their savings gone. That's when everyone finally understood. The money in the bank isn't really yours. It's a loan you've given the bank, and it doesn't have to give it back. Who survived? Those who kept money abroad, who held gold, property, or cash reserves. So, when you put all these stories together, the picture is crystal clear. In every era, in every country, the system eventually collapses. Paper money, banks, promises, all vanish sooner or later. Those who survive are the ones who see it coming. But remember this too, collapse isn't just destruction. For those who are prepared, it's an opportunity. After the plague, peasants who owned land rose to power. After the 2008 crisis, investors who bought houses built fortunes. They all did the same thing. They turned crisis into opportunity and ran straight toward real value. Maybe this is the most important part. Wealth isn't just about what you own. It's also about what you can do. The baker who can make bread, the craftsman who can fix things, the farmer who can produce food. These people always survive every crisis. Because money can lose its value, but production never does. In the end, history keeps telling us the same thing. Crisis takes from those who trust blindly and gives to those who are ready. It transfers wealth from paper promises to real assets. So should we be asking, will everything collapse? It already will. The real question is, when that moment comes, will you be left holding empty promises? Or will you have something real? If this story resonated with you, if it spoke to something deep inside you, stay tuned. History always repeats itself. We never know when or where the next echo will appear, but by listening to history, we can recognize the patterns and be ready when it happens again.